Good morning, guys. How are you today? I hope that you had a nice weekend with your parents and everything. And we have to say thank you for this day to God, and thanks to God that we have it another day, another week, and we are with our families. Today we have it English class, and you have to take it your language 3 book. Okay, we will review about period and comma rules. Like we already learned about period and comma, okay, you have to remember 4 rules, especially rules for when we have to use it, period. We use it in declarative sentences. We use it period at the end of a declarative sentence. We have to use it a capital letter and period. Then we use it periods after initial names. This is rule number 2, initial names. For example, if I wanted to say L period Cortez Quesada, that's my name, right? My names and last name. Rule 3, titles of respect. Use periods after abbreviated titles of respect. Don't forget it. For example, Mr. Sanchez, Mr. Mr. period, that is the abbreviation of Mr., right? Mr. Juan Sanchez. Then we have to use it abbreviations of days and months. We use periods after abbreviations of days and months. For example, Friday, we don't, if we have to write it abbreviated, it will be Fri, only F-R-I, period, right? Friday. Okay, then we already learned about comma. Use comma, right? We have here, when we are talking about a lot of, when we talk about a lot of people, here we have to use it commas. Mary, comma, Gary, comma, and Lee went outside to play soccer. Don't forget it, those commas, okay? Because we are trying to separate. In a rule 1, we have use comma after yes or no. Here you have an example. Yes, comma, I want to eat ice cream. No, comma, I don't want to eat ice cream. Rule 2. Use a comma after the name of a person you are speaking in a sentence. Luis, comma, do you want to eat ice cream? Do you remember those? And rule 3. Use a comma to separate the name of a city, a town, from the name of a state. Here we have an example. I live in Cochabamba, comma, Bolivia. And we already use it to, we already learned to, rule 5, that it says, use a comma to separate the parts of a date. Do you remember? For example, if I write it here, let's see. If I write it here we will say May 11th, 2020. What we are doing? Here we are using May 11, comma, like here, Monday 11, 2020. We are using commas, right? And we have to use it, commas, when a date is given in a sentence. Don't forget it, that one. For example, on October 12, 1492, Columbus discovered America. Do you remember? That is a sentence that we never forget it. Okay? Now let's go to our book. We have to watch page 34. Okay? On page 34 we have time to review periods and commas, like we already talked before. Okay? Here, think A, you have in the blank, write the letter of the sentence which is correct. Here you have to choose it only A or B. Which one is correct? Okay? Oak, maple, cherry, and ash trees lose their leaves in the winter. Oak, maple, cherry, and ash trees lose their leaves in the winter. Which one is correct? Here we are using one of our rules. They said when you talk about a lot of things, you have to write it with commas, to separate it with commas. And I think B is the correct letter. You have to complete it. Let's go to Think B. In Think B, you have to rewrite the following words and sentences adding punctuation. Okay, this is one of another rules. Here, Phoenix, Arizona. We are talking about a town, comma, and an state, Arizona. Okay, you have to write it commas here. You have to complete it those. Don't forget it. Okay, let's go to page 35. On page 35, we have time to review periods and commas. We have to continue with our rules. Think C, rewrite the following sentences adding the necessary commas and capital letters. Here we have to write it with capital letter, correct? Because we are starting our sentence. Karen watch for the cars on Main Street. Okay, and here what we have it. What kind of punctuation is this? Do you remember? Interrogative. Then which one is? Which one is? We already got it, a declarative, and we have it affirmative, and this one is? Which one? Do you remember or no? Hello guys, you have to tell me which one is. Remember. What kind of punctuation is that one? Do you remember when we have to use it those? Exclamatory sentence. This is an punctuation. This is a sign for exclamatory sentences, right? Then if we are writing an exclamatory sentence, we have to write it here. Karen, comma, watch for the cars on Main Street. Okay, now let's go to D. Here in this, place the necessary periods and commas in these sentences. All are the same. Jane, comma, your cat is in the tree, period. You have to complete it those. Let's go to page 36. On page 36, we continue with periods and commas, rule 2. Okay, add the necessary commas to each sentence. Do you remember we already talked about dates? And when we have a date in a sentence, we have to use it commas. On February 22, 1732, George Washington was born on a large farm. Okay, don't forget it here to use it commas. Think B, add the necessary commas and periods to each sentences, the same. And write C, write a declarative sentence. Write a declarative sentence with a date and a title of respect in it. You have to write it a declarative sentences using a title or respect in it. You have to use it, I don't know, Mr., Mrs., Reverend, Doctor, I don't know, okay? But it's in a declarative sentence. And here you have interrogative sentence that names 3 of your favorite desserts. 3 of your favorite desserts. You have to write it an interrogative sentence. Guys, you have to take care when you are reading the order, okay? Let's go to page 37. On page 37, we continue time to review periods and commas 3. Here you have to add all the necessary commas and periods. Here we have it, dates. December 25, 2007, period. Little Rock, Arkansas. Here we are talking about the states and cities. The number 3 here, Dr. G.W. Erickson. Here we are talking about titles of respect, abbreviations of titles of respect, and we are using two initial names. You know that one, and you have to complete it. Think B, here in Think B, add punctuation to these sentences. You have to add it punctuation on the sentences, okay, and to these sentences. Take care of what you are doing, please, because you have to recognize which rule you have to use it. Okay, thank you guys, that's all for today, and I hope that you are doing well. If you have any questions, let me know today in Zoom class. Okay, thank you, bye.